DreamHack Valencia this weekend. Unfortunately, did not make it out of the second group stage. He was in a group with Hero and I believe Quantic, the SCC. But guys, please correct me if I'm wrong. We didn't watch everything of DreamHack. Of course, it's a horrible time to watch if you live at the US West Coast. But you know, at Home Circuit Cup 5, I believe it was Home Circuit Cup 5. Yeah, I was actually talking with Dario, and he said, like, man, I'm just gonna be like Taeja. I'm just gonna win everything. And that was really before the Taeja hype took off. Like, he's like, Taeja is just winning everything right now. When I was listening, I was like, ah, yeah, he's like, he's keen on his teammate. You know, that's cute. Nice team spirit, Dario. He's like, oh, he won this and he won that, and he mentioned a couple of like impressive games. But I thought like, ah, there's still a big difference, you know, between winning those games and winning in games in GSL Code S or all killing like massive teams like I am and whatnot. But yeah, Dario was just 1 month ahead of the curve, man, because Taeja indeed went on to just be an absolute monster and win tournament after tournament.
And here he is in the North American Star League, the most prestigious tournament in the world. And he is going to be squaring off against Slayer's Ryung. Gas first out of Taeja, so that already hinting at some sort of early game aggression. Yeah,
his refinery went down a lot quicker than Ryung. Of course, we should not underestimate Ryung either, man. Slay's Ryung is one of those guys, whenever I talk with professional players and I'm just asking their opinions about the Korean Terrans, because I would love to hear that as well, you know. Like, we can watch all the Korean StarCraft, but I don't really have a chance to play against those guys, so I would love to hear, I always love to hear about first-hand experiences from my friends. And they always say that Ryung is really, really, really good. Like, they rate him a lot higher than I expected them to rate him. And they always say he's extremely good in practice. He's a player that they do not want to face in tournaments. And I'm always a little bit surprised by that because, you know, in my mind, there are quite a few Terrans scarier than Ryung. But if I have to believe my pro friends, and of course I do that because their judgment is worth more than mine, Ryung is an extremely scary opponent to face.
Well, we'll see just how scary he is, as he is going to be playing fairly aggressively himself, Kev. As no command center. There's the command center just now going down for Ryung. Or no, that's a factory.
Ben, are you okay? Should I be worried? Do you want me to call an ambulance or something?
No,
please,
man,
like, I don't want to lose you, man. I need you more. If you want to step out for a day or two.
Casting off the preview screen, it looks really small. But
you know, guys, normally we don't really talk about conditions and casting and whatnot, but it is getting extremely hot over here in the studio. I guess that has something to do with us having a hard time to focus. But Ben, just don't push it, man. If you need to step back, it won't make you less of a man. You won't be less of a man in my eyes. If you want to sit out for a series, I'll carry the torch.
I got this, bro. As Taeja's just landing his factory. He's going to make a couple of Hellions here, and he's going to build a command center behind it. Ryung, on the other hand, also getting his factory up, also building a reactor. Might actually be opening pretty similarly. Hasn't saved up the money for command center yet. In fact, throws down the starport.
Yeah, so he is going to play different. Well, Taeja did not scout, by the way, Ben, at all. Now, I really wonder how his build would have done against a proxy Marauder build, for instance, because it seems like that would have been pretty tough to deal with. The starport is going down for Taeja as well. It's just going to be a little bit later. He keeps one Hellion over here, because he saw the SCV incoming, I guess. He will be able to take out this SCV, but not before Ryung gets some excellent scouting done, Ben. Is this a fake? Nope, it's not a fake. He really wants to switch the factory and the starport.
Yep.
As we are getting
that was a really clutch scout, though, Kev. Sees that, did he even see the command center?
Yes, I'm pretty, yeah, I double-checked that.
Yes, he did. So that's a really big deal. Ryung knows exactly what he's playing against. And Ryung's going to be playing an elevator play into an expand of his own.
Oh, Taeja taking a lot of damage
by Taeja
on his first Hellion. And Ben, he only made 2 Hellions, and Hellions are really crucial. He's going to lose the first Hellion. Even the second Hellion takes a little bit of damage. Wow, Taeja, if I were you right now, I'd be pretty worried, Ben. He does have the reactor on the rack, so he's trying to pump out as many Marines as possible. But right now, the numbers are definitely favoring Ryung.
Banshee is on his way out for Taeja. That's going to give him some additional defensive capabilities if he keeps it in his base.
Nice micro there by Ryung, putting all the Marines back, only putting 1 Marine in the front after Taeja got a good shot off with his Hellion once. In these situations, guys, as silly as it sounds, getting 5 HP on 3 Hellions is a massive deal because every tiny little bit matters. Now it's a little bit less important when the medevac shows up, but I understand what Taeja was doing there, and I really loved how Ryung pulled back most of his Marines and only let 1 Marine take the damage.
I feel like Taeja's done a really great job of recognizing what he's playing against. We see his units all positioned in the main base in preparation for the elevator, and instead, though, Ryung just walking right into the natural, and he's going to be a little bit tricky. Taeja can't just storm down his ramp right now.
No, I would even be surprised if he holds down up his ramp. Where is that Banshee going? Well, Taeja sends out his first Banshee ban. He is confident that he doesn't need the Banshee to defend against all these Marines and these 3 Hellions.
Yeah, it might be possible, Kev, as the Marine count is actually even. And soon to be favoring Taeja.
Well, I mean, there are a couple of Marines in the natural of Ryung. That's why it was favoring Taeja. And Ryung is actually going to back off. So what a sick judgment call right there by Taeja. Just realizing immediately that he would probably be fine. Cloak is more than halfway done, man. All there is 4 Marines. Taeja going to show some Banshee micro.
Oh, beautiful Banshee micro so far. Kills 2 Marines. Going to get all the Marines, in fact.
I find that so sick that he can make a call like that, just sending his first Banshee to the other side of the map.
Really pretty unbelievable. Banshee gets 2 SCVs as well as those first couple of Marines, and he's going to continue to dance around. Cloak, Kev,
he's even going to have Cloak real soon.
Not quite ready, but it's only seconds away. Oh no, Viking! 5 seconds on Cloak, but it's not going to matter. Banshee's going to die.
Not before killing 1 more SCV. Still, insane call there by Taeja, and that really makes it like, Ben, I wouldn't have even made that call if I had full vision of the map. And that's just, I don't know, I find that fantastic. Really excellent read by Taeja. And meanwhile, though, we have 3 Hellions in a medevac making their way over to Taeja's main base. Taeja's not aware of this. He's going to lose a lot of SCVs.
Oh, this is painful. Immediately, he sends a lot of SCVs down to his natural and pulls the
line them
rest.
up.
They're going to stack up pretty substantially, and this is going to be big losses for Taeja.
Wow. For the insane call he made earlier, things are pretty much back to even right now. If not, Ryung even has a small advantage.
Yeah, 7 worker lead for Ryung. But he does still have the Banshee around.
The Banshee didn't kill a single unit yet, and it's going to take a lot of damage. Will get out of scan range. Is there another scan? Yes, there is.
I feel like that's a doomed Banshee, though, Kev.
Yeah.
She's kind of just...
This is like right now you're praying, man. Please don't scan. Please don't scan. Please don't scan. Just don't scan. Please don't scan.
Please don't run out of energy, is what she's saying.
Please let me just go back home. You do not want to scan to kill me.
Ryung actually looking away for a moment. The Banshee sneaks out.
I'm going to get a few shots on the tank.
That is a brave Banshee. She literally has 1 Viking shot left, and she wants to keep on fighting. Now she's going to go ahead and get the hell out of dodge.
Cute little move there by Ryung, picking up those 2 siege tanks, making sure that the Banshee will not be able to attack. Of course, Banshee cannot attack air. If there is someone out there, Ben, who's new to StarCraft, and wonders, why does this helicopter not shoot that big white thing down? Because it can't.
It should just fly higher than the medevac, Kev. Yeah. And then shoot down on top of it.
No, it should just have like an awesome wingman, you know, who hangs out of the side and then shoots rockets. Maybe that's going to be an upgrade for Legacy of the Void.
His name will be Tom Cruise. Banshee going to make his way once again into the main base. Now, a little bit of a gap in the detection here, forcing the scan out of...
Not sure if that's scan. Yeah, I guess it will be enough. This is a scary army though by Ryung, Ben, heading over to the top side of the map. Siege mode is not ready yet for Taeja. It is going to be ready for Ryung. Now it's going to be ready for Taeja. But it's only 1 tank against 3 tanks. Wow, what a timing again by Taeja.
Yeah,
how sick is that?
Ever so close. Tank does get a single shot off. Although I would say that Ryung could feasibly set up a little bit of a contain at the base of the cliff and try to elevate her in. Instead, he's just going to back off. Doesn't want to take chances against siege mode.
Taeja right now, Ben, and the 7 worker lead as Ryung just kind of skipped on producing SCBs for a little while. Just want to make this push happen. This is something that Ryung often does, by the way. He hits those 2 base pushes. I don't know if you remember his games against, I believe, Hero back then, where Hero just stayed so passive. Ooh, Taeja.
Oh, Banshee! Does Cloak scan not going down. Taeja right now has a 20 supply lead. I don't know where the hell that came from, because he's been behind economically ever since that Hellion drop.
Well, Taeja killed a few more additional SCVs with the second Banshee, and Ryung didn't really produce SCVs, so that's why Taeja got a worker lead again. Another Rex going up. Armory already on the way for Taeja. Taeja's gonna work on his medevac count as well, as right now he doesn't have a single medevac on the field. And he has a lot of Marines though, 40 Marines over 25. Yeah,
that's a very, very large advantage. What do the upgrades look like right now? +1 attack for Ryung. Taeja right now is just finishing up his own +1. So evenly upgraded Marines, but superior numbers at the moment for Taeja.
Well, I would even say far superior numbers.
And where did that extra money go for Ryung, guys? Well, it went into a 3rd command center. It's about halfway complete. So he's working on the next step in his economic progression. Taeja looks like he might be thinking about dropping a command center down there at that 3rd base. He certainly cleared that area, but he also looks like he wants to make a push in the meantime.
Oh, Medevac is gonna head over to the left side of this map. And there is a Banshee once more heading over towards the natural Ryung. Is Taeja gonna spot this Medevac? Yes, he is gonna spot it. What can he really do about it though? Maybe he can steam in. Oh, he has a missile turret. Well, this poor SCV, man. Poor SCV.
Missile turret guy. Oh no, mutiny!
You have dropships, Taeja. This is bad for the morale of your troops.
The SCV was like that guy that just, he was like the science kid, and the siege tank guy is like that bully, quarterback.
With the hot girlfriend?
Yeah.
They always have the hot girlfriend.
So bad manner. And it's like the missile turret guy playing shooting games and his little buddy, the SCV. Oh, big attack here. Outside the natural expansion. Taeja going to try to make something happen. Does pick off a siege tank and then backs up once again to his tank life. Now sitting on a 30 supply lead. This game looks so good at one point for Ryung, Kevin. I don't know where it slipped away from him. Or even that it has necessarily slipped away from him. But, I mean, certainly it feels like Taeja's making all the right moves.
Taeja could potentially perhaps force a cancel on this base. I think that's what he actually wants to do. No, he's just going to try to drop in the main. But Taeja left a couple of Marines, man. He could stim. He's just going to stim out. Well, he saw it, but he's not going to be able to intercept that or that Medevac immediately. A little bit sloppy there, but Taeja could have handled this a little bit better.
These Marines are going to get a handful of SCV kills, and Taeja's actually being really lax about responding to it. Finally sends over a few bio units and does clean it up. Ryung in the meantime has kind of safely dropped this third base. Command Center's landing down there just right about now. It's still down 20 supply, but the tank line, getting a little bit too far forward. He's going to take one tank volley, two tank volleys. Fourth tank volley means that this siege tank will die, and while it is only one tank, it's one tank that now means Taeja leads in the tank count, which is a huge deal in the big fights. We got a lot of units active all around the map, as there is a Medevac with a couple of Marines on the right top side, and there is still an active Banshee for Taeja on the left bottom side. While we were watching the drop in the main base, that Banshee did pick up 3 or 4 more additional kills, but that is about it. This third expansion is exposed to that Banshee, and she's going to make her way in right now. Just going to fly down and... and another big fight. Ryung's going to try to bust out. Taeja's got an okay position. Marines just kind of swapping sides here, and Taeja with the superior Marine numbers just going to sweep through, kill every single siege tank, loses the tanks of his own, but... it's really hard to say who comes out ahead there. They just traded all their tanks for their Marines. And now Taeja is going to evacuate, still with that same 20 supply lead he's been hanging on to. That Medevac did fall with still 5 Marines in it. These 3 Marines will still be able to do a little bit of damage, as these Marines did clear off the Banshee. A lot of actioning happening all over the map right now, guys. Would love to have 2 screens, but only have 1. But at the end of the day, I still think it's safe to say, Ben, that was a good trade for Taeja. And you know what was key as well? That his 2-1 upgrade just finished before that fight started. Wow, yeah. He would have loved to have 2-2, of course, on the Marines, but he had 2-1 right now. And despite, I think, the engagement was quite okay for Ryung, as he really got into that tank line immediately. Taeja just did the exact same thing, because he had so many Marines and still took out all the tanks from Ryung, but then wasn't really able to take on the Marines anymore, as Ryung had the better engagement and still had more Marines left. Critically, Ryung has not been producing that many siege tanks, Kev. He only has 1 now. Taeja was building them the whole time. He's got 5 tanks, 65 Marines against now 2 tanks, 47 Marines of Ryung. And now another push coming out from the Liquid Terran. 20 supply lead has become a 40 supply lead somehow. Taeja immediately starting 3-3 upgrades as well. Ryung is still working on 2-2. Another fight before 2-2 finishes would be devastating for Ryung. Ryung is going to fly in a Medevac once more, but this time he is watching while we see Taeja stimming forward. Just going to kind of try to force the issue here. Only a single tank remains. Second one just now popping out for Ryung. So 50 supply down, but trying to hang in there. Taeja's slowly going to leapfrog forward. One of those tanks a little bit too exposed. Marine's going to go ahead and stim and come forward. And this might be the end for Ryung. All these Marines are trapped over here, but Ryung is forced to fight with these Marines. All these Marines will die. The Medevacs will die. And yes, Taeja loses a few siege tanks, but he takes out everything else. Beautiful little engagement there from Taeja. GG called by Ryung, and Liquid Taeja is going to take game number 1 in pretty decisive fashion. Very nicely done. A really interesting game, man. A lot of action all around the map. A lot of small fights, 1 drop, 1 Banshee. Both players trying to be active. It started off great for Taeja, who made that insane call, sending out that Banshee. I'm still kind of... how do you say it? Flabbergasted is the word you're looking for. I already found it. You just took it out of my mouth, man. I already found the word. Kind of flabbergasted that he can make those kind of calls. That's really, like, that's the difference between a top player and a fantastic player, or like a world-class player. Because
as I said, even if I would have had map hack and I would have seen that army incoming, I would be like, if I have the Banshee, I'll be okay. Taeja sees the army incoming and he doesn't really know what's behind it, but Taeja's like, I think I can deal with this just by rallying out more Marines out of my reacted racks. I'm going to send the Banshee to the other side of the map. Insane call.
Still to come today, guys, Thorzane versus Vibe and MC versus Bishu. But before that, we've got to finish up the Ryung versus Taeja series. We have to thank Azo Monitors for sponsoring that last game. We're going to kick it to a very short break, but we'll be back with MC. Yeah, MC's going to play later. But we'll be back with Ryung versus Taeja game number 2 after this.